happened out there today?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Well, it was, I thought they competed well. You know, for the last couple of days, it's been hot. We've been out yesterday a little bit earlier, but we were out in the sun for the last couple of days, so hydrating, getting themselves right to come out here. And we started at 4:06, so we're kind of that simulated game time. And I thought they responded well. Like most first scrimmages, details, some techniques, communication, you know, there were mistakes that were made as far as how the effort they gave, pretty good. I thought the special teams portion of the practice, which was not live, I thought we did a good job transitioning there, which is better than we've done in the past. But like I told them at the end, I thought we competed, which was the goal today. We got a chance now to see on tape, you know, how we tackle, how we break tackles, how we block, how we defeat blocks, those type of things. And now we're going to go back and look at it. And for some guys, you know, if they think it's really good, it's never that good. If they think it's really bad, it's never that bad. And so just for everybody to go back, evaluate the tape tonight. We'll watch it tomorrow. We don't have practice tomorrow. We get back on Monday. So now we can really dissect where are we at, what do we have to work on, and we get into next week and focus on those things. But the end of practice, Coach Pagano was there, so he had a chance to talk to our guys. And it's just great. He's been at the highest level. He's been doing this a long time. And to hear his message about the work it takes, the sacrifice it takes, you know, what your mentality needs to be, where you want to go in this sport is really up to you. It was a great message. So I thought our guys got a lot out of today, especially at the end of practice, hearing him and what he had to say. And I'm looking forward to watching the tape and seeing, you know, where we can get better. And as long as our mindset is that moving forward, then this next week will be productive.
Anybody in particular really just kind of catch your eye?
I thought Rip played well. You know, I thought he threw the ball well tonight. There's a couple good catches. John Hightower had a couple good catches today, which was good to see. You know, to see him really, because we've never seen him compete in a live situation, so it was good to see some of those new guys do that. Alexander ran the ball well. So I thought we did decent up front early, and then the D-line I thought was really stout. You know, probably the 3/4 of the scrimmage. Those guys were playing well against the run. Secondary solid, you know, with our first group. Some of the second group, you know, things that we have to continue to work on with just some communication. So like I said, I mean, really, no one really in particular. I think everybody in general did what they were supposed to do. And kind of what we anticipated them doing in the scrimmage, and now it's a matter of cleaning it all up. And we'll start winding this thing down into this next scrimmage with the depth chart and trying to figure out what our 2 deep is going to be, and then what we're going to do with some of the young guys as far as redshirting. You know, now that plan starts to come into place a little bit more after we watch this tape and say, okay, this guy, you know, we need to get more reps. This guy I got to have on the ready, and he's going to play, and then kind of figuring that out as we move forward.
You mentioned special teams. With Avery last year, I mean, obviously with special teams, scout team, you knew what you had maybe, but for him to come in first, you know, time he gets a punt return and score, and then to do what he did, you know, the rest of the season, I guess, how impressive was that? How you know, important is that for you guys, and what kind of weapon can he be for you guys?
Well, that was the most impressive I've ever seen. First return for a touchdown and how he did it. I thought the guys in front of him did a good job. And I'll say this, I think the guys that are blocking for him on the return team, they believe in him. They know he'll make something happen. If they just do their part, if they cannot get a free hitter to our returner, then there's going to be a chance for a big play. But that's Avery, though. Avery's like that every day. He's that way on defense. He's that way on special teams. So, you know, I think he's one of the best, and he practices that way. So, you know, I don't see any different. If our guys do their job up front and we can take care of blocking our man and we can give him a chance to get it started, then I think we have opportunities to make big plays in the return game, which the field position battle, you know, was a key to our success, one of the big keys. And he was a big part of that in a lot of our games this last year.
You guys, you know, you've had a chance to watch some of these younger or newer wide receivers over the course of the first week. How do you feel that they're really starting to fit in? And I mean, you look at some of them too. Some of them are physically advanced, and you talk to the guys that have been in the playbooks. But what's your take on those guys?
Well, I think they've studied. You know, they know formations, they know plays. They have shown flashes of their talent. Today they were good. You know, when you're actually out there playing down, you got to line up faster, you got to break the huddle, or you got to get lined up if we're trying to go fast. you're going to catch the ball, get hit, you got to go back and do it all over again. I thought we were good. We're not there yet, and I thought it was good for them to get out there and actually do that, to play in a real life situation. I think we dropped a couple balls because we're just not playing, trying to catch it with the right technique, and I think that's just nerves. I think that's how you practice. We've got to do a better job of that. So after tonight, and we go back and study this and we break it down for the players tomorrow, when we come back this next week, all these little things, if they're going to play for us, we've got to get that ironed out. And they've got to learn how to practice. They've got to be more disciplined, and that needs to show up in the next scrimmage. But solid, I would say solid today from that group.
Right. You mentioned special teams. Kind of go back to that a little bit. I know with the new rules, especially with the kickoffs, that could adjust things for some teams. And I know now that you're in practice a bit, how much have you worked on it, and how much do you think it might have an effect on the game?
I don't. You know what? That's a tough question right now. We kind of went through the scenarios. It's just, what is the other team thinking on kickoff? We've obviously worked the fair catch. We know what the rule is. We know if we're inside the 25-yard line and we don't want to return it, let's fair catch it if it's not in the end zone. We still want to bring it out. We still want to try to return it. We still want to use that opportunity to make a big play. We think we can score on it. So to me, I think on kickoff return, the rule is easy. If it's in a certain area, you could fair catch it. To me, the strategy is going to be, how are the teams going to use it on their kickoff? How many sky kicks are you going to see? When are they going to try to bloop one up there and see if it'll make it a poor decision? That's what we don't know. So I think this year in the rule, you're going to see some things that you'll probably scratch your head on, like why would they do that? And I really think for the most part, it won't change too much from what we've seen. There'll be a few fair catches in there, but most of the teams, if that ball's right on that goal line or just outside of it and you can hit it, they're probably going to try to return it, would be my guess. And that's kind of what we anticipate right now. But we're going through all the different situations and probably just making some up as well that won't even come up this year, but it'll come up at some point. And this is one of those rules that I think will stick. I think it'll stay. I think it's the perception of that play. I think it does give you an option when it is short and there's going to be that contact for sure on the returner, like on a punt. They can fair catch it, and it gives them a chance to get the ball to 25 and just play.
Doing something on Durant Miles, and you get Curtis and maybe David and Jabril. They kind of have the better stats, or maybe you're more, flashy or whatever with fans, whatever. But you look at, a guy like Durant, he's just kind of always solid. You don't have to worry about him. What are your thoughts on Durant and just how much he means to this defense?
Yeah, somebody's got to do the dirty work. It's like David Moa. It's like Louis. Those guys got to get in there. They're in the trenches. You got those guys on the edges. We can play around with them. And Durant will do that too. Durant can get on the edge and also come off and be a great pass rusher. But when you got Jabril, you got Curtis, you got Sam, and we're kind of messing with those edges, somebody's got to be inside to handle that gap, to handle the run, to handle the inside pressure. And Durant does that. And if anything with Durant, that guy is 100% all out every day, all in, locked in meetings. So he's got all the intangibles you want. And then I think right now, just physically, he's playing really well. I think he's playing stronger. I think Coach K's done a good job with him with his strike and being more physical. That's shown up against our O-line. I think our O-line is pretty good. And those guys up front on the D-line, and Durant being one of them, they're causing problems. So he's all those things. Can he get on the edge and play that too? Are we going to do some things with him, maybe a little differently, and try to get him some opportunities? Absolutely. But he knows his role, and if people are trying to run it inside, or we can get some pressure up the middle with him on a pass, he's going to have an opportunity to go make those plays. So I think that complement of all those guys that we mentioned on the D-line, that gives us an advantage there if those guys are all playing to their ability, best of their ability, and doing the things that they're coached to do.